Welcome to the Hot Comics Plopcast with your host, Comic Book Girl 19.
Yay! Hey guys, today I am here with Captain Kirk and T-Bone. This is the Plopcast. We're going to be talking about comics today. It's been a long time since we talked about comics.
Actual comic books.
Actual comic books. T-Bone, what are we going to be talking about today?
All right, we've got a list of titles here to talk about. The first thing up is the big event, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
It's the big Marvel event that everyone's been asking you about that you have not responded about at all yet.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We're also going to talk about another Marvel comic that came before that you love, which is Spider-Man and the X-Men.
Yay! Just a small spotlight. It was fun.
Then we're also going to talk about Wicked and the Divine.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about Phonogram, the third volume, which is new.
Touch on it.
Touch
Just
on
came
it.
out.
Yeah.
Touch on it, okay.
Yeah, first, the same guys who did Wicked and the Divine.
Just gonna
you know.
touch it.
So for all you comic book fans and lovers out there, this is for you. And here we go with the intro music. And we're back.
Hey, we're back. So let's start this whole thing off by kind of, I don't know, I'm gonna say where I've been, what's been going on with my comics.
Because we have not done a Plopcast in quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Do you have any idea
Why has it been a while?
how much I'm containing my excitement right now?
I know.
I'm kind of losing my shit.
People on Twitter were like, "Oh, where's the Plopcast?" And where, Kirk, are you still on the Plopcast? And it's like, dude, we haven't been doing anything. Like, it's
Nothing.
you know.
I was getting sent
And
like
why
little
is
tiny
that?
emojis of like pitchforks and torches.
Yeah.
I didn't know they even had those emojis, but that's what people were sending me.
It's the thing is we've been working on our Epic History X-Men series. So that's been taking
right.
up our whole year. It was calendars, and then it was volume 1 and then volume 2 back to back. So we've had these really big projects all year that we've been
Right.
working on. So we
Right.
haven't had a lot of extra
Yep.
free time necessarily. And also because of that, you know, I've dropped off of comics a little bit. I've been reading to catch up. Kirk came over yesterday and let me borrow some stuff, and I've been...
Well, you haven't dropped off of comics. You've just been focusing on the first and second decade of the X-Men.
Exactly. I've just been working on X-Men from the 70s.
But on top of that, like
so.
you immersed yourself into the world
dude.
of the
Yes,
X-Men.
people don't
Immersed.
realize when you make a documentary, you have to focus so much energy in on that
crazy.
it's hard to do anything else, and we have to run a YouTube
Totes.
show at the same time.
Totes.
So both get
So
slowed
on top
down.
of that, like, how are you supposed to keep up with like multiple stories?
Yeah.
Or even like any other titles from any other publisher?
Man,
when
we've
you're
made
just
2 documentary films that are an hour long this year.
Yeah, that's
already.
crazy.
And it's only a little bit over half the year's over.
Yeah.
And we have to make a third one, hopefully.
Yeah, we're trying to make the third one. We'll see. You know,
dude.
trying to make it happen.
So, you know, I feel like there's some people that don't think that we've been doing as much output, but we have been doing more output than we've ever done before.
Ever done.
Right.
And also, I'd like to remind everyone that Epic History X-Men Volume 2, the first 10 minutes, actually more like 15 minutes, they have hit, they've been leaked on our YouTube page. Go check
Okay.
them out. I dare you to watch it and not want to buy the whole
Kirk,
thing.
did you happen to check out Epic History
I
X-Men?
have both of them.
Oh, yeah?
Now the first
What
one,
did you think?
guys.
What's your
like,
review? Give
Here's
me
the
your
cool
review.
thing.
And you
First
actually
one-
bought it, too.
First one, you guys were like,
I was
"Are
so
we
proud.
on to something?" I got that one for free. I love you. The second one, I just already as the support, I just
Thanks,
bought
Kirk.
it.
Thanks.
And it's pretty fucking rad.
Well, it's $3.99.
Yeah.
You know. We
Thanks
couldn't get
for
our
your-
other friend to
thanks for
shell
your
out
$4.
$3.99. Our other friend wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's
and
for some reason
I've
hard
been
to
picking
pick
it out
friends.
because I mean it really is.
A real friend.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand how professional it is and the amount of research.
Oh yeah, dude. The like we really upped the
mean-
production value on this. Like this is not your average video that we put out. Like we built a whole set for it. I mean, it's like awesome. Like it's just really. We got an animator from Archer. My friend Dominic Mashler. I met him at SCAD. So yeah, got him on it, and he did an amazing job.
That's
so
right.
proud of
And
everyone.
Can we also just talk about the new career opportunity that T-Bone has as a voiceover artist now?
Oh, yeah? Did you enjoy
You
that?
can
part?
do, like,
he did a really good job on
He's perfect for Cyclops, but he can only do one voice, and that's it. He has no other voices
But you
inside
could be
of
the
him.
Cyclops guy. They're like, you got to get the Cyclops
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah.
I do not have the talent of doing multiple voices. I wish that I had.
Yeah.
We had to call in other people for that.
Yeah.
But I had already done Cyclops because that was the first one that I laid
But
down.
you are a Cyclops. Like, you are
That's
in
the
real
thing.
life, you're Cyclops. So.
We did that psychology breakdown
Yeah.
thing, and it said that I have shared the same psychology,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Oh, the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Yes.
It was saying that, yeah, the same one that you have, Cyclops also has.
Cyclops, Daredevil, and
It's like,
I can't remember who the third one was. I want to say Leonardo from the Ninja Turtles.
You're like
That actually makes a lot of
I
sense,
think you're
though.
like no,
Yeah.
it is Leonardo from
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
That's totally. I mean, I always.
You got to send me that. I want to try that.
Yeah, I think it's INTJ.
Find out. Yeah,
think
we'll put a
you're-
link in the description.
Yeah.
All right.
Find out what
See-
superhero you share psychology with.
Yeah, it's super
And
super
share
nuts.
down below.
fun.
I want to know what those outcomes are. That'd be cool.
Yeah, totally. And Kirk, what have you been up to? What have you been up to, Captain Kirk?
Well, you guys cursed me with the bug, and I actually got picked up over at Comic Impact, which is a website that I'm helping some friends with. I'm
Awesome.
also over there with D-Dog Darren
D-Dog Darren in the mix.
in the mix, and I basically do weekly top 5 comic book reviews.
Yes.
And they really are like the only reviews that matter on the internet.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
not to-
no,
not-
I mean,
not to-
a lot of people have been asking, like, oh, Comic Book Girl, like, what have you been reading lately? And, like, I haven't been able to stay up to date with the current stuff because I've been going through old stuff.
Right.
But Kirk is totally on top of it.
And
so,
it's weekly, so whatever releases came out that
Yeah.
week, a few days later, the
So-
video hits, and it really is my top 5 when I'm finding interesting, fun, emotional.
And you do this every week?
Every week.
and it helps you figure
Way to
out
keep on
what
it.
the fuck
Yeah.
to buy.
So go over to comicimpact.com, but also the YouTube page, Comic Impact.
All right, well, we should move on and actually start getting to the content here.
Okay.
Because everyone wants to hear about Secret Wars. It's
Okay.
the big Marvel event.
Here we go.
Secret Wars.
So let's talk about it for the first at least 5 minutes, spoiler free.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
let's assume that there are a few people out there that have never read it, don't know anything about it.
a few.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I read-
everyone.
I read the first 4 issues, and I still feel like I don't know enough about it.
And
Yeah.
by the way, it should be noted, this is overwhelming.
Yes.
Like, especially if you're a new reader to comics, I wouldn't necessarily start here.
Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Absolutely.
I've read now, because we did these documentaries, the first 2 decades of the X-Men. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've read the majority of them. I missed a few issues here and there. But still, I was like, when I read this, I was like, oh, I should be pretty fine now to get into any comic book now. But no, this is not something
No.
that anyone,
No.
unless someone has been used to reading the last maybe 10 years,
Yeah.
Right.
would be
Yeah.
accustomed
Well,
to.
that's something that we should preface this whole thing with Secret Wars. Okay, Secret Wars is a giant Marvel event.
Huge.
Everything,
it's
all
the
the
event.
titles. It is the big event. All the titles are included in. All the titles are included in this. There's a few that get to kind of do their own thing and just
Right.
not worry about it. But most of them are inclusive. And this is going to happen. And after Battle World is over in November.
And they actually just added another issue for December.
Oh, damn it! Okay, fucking January next year. We're gonna have a new Marvel situation
Pretty
going
much.
on. Now, what is the new Marvel situation? Are they just starting their continuities over, just doing number ones? Are they?
We're not
What
quite
exactly?
sure, but Marvel has definitely said that everything that came before the Secret Wars event still counts.
Okay.
So we're not
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's not
pressing
like
the
a new
reset button.
52 situation.
No.
Okay.
So everything still counts.
All right.
Like Gwen Stacy died,
Yeah.
and
Wolverine died.
and Wolverine died, and
Yeah.
Scott Summers is still a dick
Right.
who killed Charles Xavier.
Okay, here we go. Let's talk about Secret Wars officially.
Okay.
So I will try to guide this conversation along so that someone that has no idea what's going on, like me, can listen to this.
Yes.
Right.
So Kirk, from what I understand, and I read the first 4 issues of this.
Okay.
The story starts in issue number 1 from not the real starting point of this whole event. Some stuff has been going on, and what I understand, it's been going on for more than a year.
For about 2 years now.
For
Even
2
more than-
years,
Yeah.
there's been an event where multiverses have been colliding. So can
Correct.
you explain what happened in the
Leading
however
up.
many
Okay,
years
I'm
that
not-
led up to this?
We're not going to get into the details of it. If you want the details, IO9 wrote a really great synopsis article.
Okay.
But the general idea you need to understand is over the last 2 years, Jonathan Hickman has been writing the Avengers titles. And it's all been this very slow build to the fact that we're discovering that there are these things called incursions. And it's when 2 different Earths from 2 different multiverses start to collide. And essentially, one Earth needs to die for the other Earth to live. Okay? And we
because science.
No, wait.
because comics.
Now, was Galactus eating?
Galactus actually saved the day and ate one of the Earths, so that
Really?
Okay, so I remember
Yeah.
that something like that happening in the Ultimate Universe.
That's cool.
So
Right.
that ties in. Okay.
right.
I like
Gotcha.
that.
And what happened was we had the Illuminati
Mm-hmm.
that has been a long time thing in Marvel Comics now for about 5 years.
Yeah, it's all the leaders of a bunch of different types of superpowered peoples
Right.
that meet in secret to make decisions that affect the entire universe and world.
Totally.
Do we want to talk about who he's made up of real
It,
quick?
it was Beast took over for Xavier,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark,
Black Panther,
Black Panther,
Namor.
and Namor,
Black Bolt.
Black Bolt.
I think that's it.
That's it.
No, Doctor Strange. Did we say
Doctor Strange was in there for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
And then also we have to understand that at one point Namor didn't like what the Illuminati were doing,
Mm-hmm.
so he split off and he started the Cabal. which were like evil villains, and like
Right.
Thanos was on that team.
That's who Thanos was.
There it was.
Cabal.
And the Cabal, their thing was to go, and if the heroes aren't going to destroy Earths in order to save the main universe, Earth, then the Cabal is going to go and do the dirty work for them.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
so since
that.
so there's that,
Right.
and then what else? Other things that kind of have
And
led
that
up to
didn't
this?
necessarily work out the way it was supposed to, because even Namor has a conscience, and so
Mm-hmm.
he broke away, and then he went to go ask Doctor Doom for help, and Doom was like, "Nah, screw you. I'm never anyone's second choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it should have come to me first."
Yeah. Yeah.
Only-
He does not play second
No,
fiddle.
he doesn't. He's not second fiddle.
So okay. So Doom has a big part in Secret Wars.
Yes, he has a huge part in it.
So do I dare ask?
Come to find out, he had a pretty good idea of what was already going on.
Mm-hmm.
Had figured out that there was these two giant magical entities of like spiritual groups.
Yeah.
And not to get too much into it, one was like the World Builders, and that plays really far back into the beginning
Of the Avengers,
the
Hickman.
Avengers Hickman run. And there was another group, and come to find out, they are actually a group of Beyonders
Oh shit.
from the original Secret Wars from 1980, whatever.
Oh, and that's why it's called Secret Wars.
And that's why it's called Secret Wars.
So there's more than one Beyonder now.
Exactly. There's an entire group of
There's a
them.
bunch of Beyond. That sounds like a bad idea.
It's a really horrible idea because I mean, if you remember the Beyonder from the original series,
It's crazy.
had really weird, greasy like
Jerry curls,
curled hair.
and he wore like white,
So-
and
yeah,
but
so if you
he
wanna-
fell in love with Dazzler for a second.
That's true.
He did.
That's true. But if you want to imagine like an entire omnipotent group of those guys with the same haircut,
Yeah,
that's the
'Cause
Beyonders.
They're like a universe and a reality and a person
They're
and a god.
omnipotent.
Like they can do whatever they want, warp reality, travel through dimensions, time doesn't matter,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they're also sick because essentially they wanted to watch the destruction of everything simultaneously, and that meant all the universes, everything.
Okay.
They want to just wipe
so,
out existence.
So all the universes are being threatened.
right.
Doom finds out about it.
Yep.
And so he decides what does he do to save?
Essentially, he travels back in time and starts a religion based around worshiping him. So that
Sounds very Doom.
So his followers can kind of, it's basically so he raises an army that can be everywhere at once and help do his bidding.
Gotcha.
But it all comes down to the first issue of Secret Wars, where now we have the final incursion, which just happens to be the Ultimate Marvel and the regular
See,
616
everything that you just
Marvel.
explained should have been the first issue. Should have been flashbacks to put all this together.
Should have. And what happened was they actually did a number 0 on Free Comic Book Day, but even then
Look,
that wasn't that
They
comprehensive.
didn't
Did
write
number
this
0?
for you.
Yeah,
This is not-
is for.
Oh, that's clear.
This is not written for like a noobler or even me. Like I'm
Even
not
a little,
even
little
like,
first page text description of here's all the stuff that happened in the last 2 years, and like a summary would have helped.
Yeah.
But if you're a giant fanboy, hi guys,
But
how
I mean,
you
if
doing?
if
All
you're
right,
on
that's fine.
it, it makes sense. But
Yeah.
if you haven't been on
Fine,
it,
it's
or
not for
you're
me.
like half
Yeah.
on it, it's not going to do
It's
it.
for the less than 100,000 people that know what's going on
Yes.
in comics today.
Essentially, that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
And we find out this is the final incursion,
Mm-hmm.
and we watch Reed Richards and their big master stroke plan to try to save everything, which doesn't work out. He has these 2 little life pods that he kind of stores away, like the world's greatest minds and heroes,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna like hopefully try to survive whatever comes next. But really, it comes down to the fact that Doom wasn't able to save all the multiverses or even any of them, but he was able to save little itty bitty tiny
Little
parts of each multiverse and bring them all together and create Battle World,
Okay,
which
so
is what all Secret Wars is happening now.
so Earth is exploded.
Gone.
The ultimate Earth is exploded.
Gone.
Why don't
All
you
that's
flip
left.
to that page of Battle
all
World?
that's left is Battle
Sure.
World, which is made up of little pieces of other different worlds. You can see
Every-
here. There's like
So if everyone turns to their text,
there's like 41 different little nations or something.
Mhm.
I mean,
Pull
you
that over here a little bit.
yeah, you have Doomstadt is its own
you've
situation.
got Greenland, which is occupied by an entire land of irradiated Hulks.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Kunlun, which is the ancient city that Iron Fist
Yeah.
gets his power from.
Bar Sinister,
Exactly,
which
yeah.
is actually a bar here, but it's
In
spelled
LA.
yeah. It's like
So-
I wonder if that's
So I like the fact that it's Mr.
you know,
Sinister's like
yeah.
joint.
and he's all wearing leather and shit too, because it's like a weird
We should
goth
go
bar.
there cosplaying as Mr. Sinister.
Do you think
Yeah.
they would kick us out? I bet you we could totally get away with
No.
that.
If you're
that
wearing
would
something
look right.
gothy, then it's fine. Like you could wear whatever cosplay outfit as long
Yeah.
as like if I did a Madeline Pryor, they would let that shit
That's
in.
dope. We should just do our own Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also have like the 2099 world. That was a little
Yeah.
itty bitty piece that survived. There was another one called Weird
There's
World.
there's Mutopia, where probably I assume the mutants are.
There was like another one. I want to say Technopolis, which is basically an overly like there's so much radiation that everyone has to live in an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, there's like
So,
a
like you said, there's like
okay.
little pieces like Age of Apocalypse. A little bit of that survived.
Right.
So
Grant
in each one
Morrison's
of these
X-Men run.
areas,
Yeah.
that's where you have the individual books throughout the 50 book-ish line of Marvel Comics.
Bingo.
yes.
Okay.
And so you have to kind of imagine it all comes together like a giant Pangea,
Yeah.
Morphosis,
Now the people that are
giant
in
landmass.
My God.
the people
I
that are
know.
in these territories are not supposed to leave these territories. So in the meantime,
Or should I say
before
My Doom?
Yeah.
well, in the meantime, before we get to the new Marvel thing, whatever it is, essentially, I feel like Marvel's just putting out a bunch of what ifs, where it's like, oh, you have Ghost Rider Land, and then
Yeah.
you have all the different Ghost Riders racing each other and all this stuff, and like it's fun, but at the same time, it's like, why am I spending a bunch of money on what ifs and like a bunch of time on like reading all this shit? Like, I know it's fun. I'm sure there's a lot. Everyone says there's a lot of fun stuff going on in it. I'm sure there
Right.
fucking is, but.
Yeah, should we explain the fact that you have not read this at all yet?
No, I haven't read any of this. Like, Kirk came
But
over.
that's kind of the point of this. This
Well-
is like for anybody, and especially like people who are coming out of the
Yeah.
fog
Yeah.
of like their X-Men.
Well, it's like,
Yeah,
my
this is-
my life has been like super crazy this year, and like it's I don't want to say falling apart, but it's been super nuts, and like I don't have time for something like this in my life right now, because like their universe is falling apart and going all crazy,
Literally.
and I don't.
Yeah.
I already have enough of that in my life. I don't need more of that in my life. Plus, like I said, it's just like I feel like it's a bunch of what ifs. It's none of this is gonna matter at the end of the day when we get to the next Marvel
Oh no, this
White.
is the biggest of all time what if that comic books have ever
Pretty
done.
much.
Yeah.
Like, and you have to kind of look at it as the fact that it was just a great opportunity to tell fun stories
Yeah.
before we move forward. Like, this
Right.
is the last
Yeah.
hurrah.
Yeah.
That's the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I can enjoy it for that part. I have what if Professor X became the Juggernaut? And I was
Totally.
reading that
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and-
it's
Yeah.
really goofy.
yeah.
But that's the thing though. It's like I just don't I don't mind a what if here and there, but like I don't want to be reading what
But
ifs
it's-
for like
yeah.
fucking a year.
Mhm. Exactly. They're
Like-
taking over a whole year of
And
your
then
comics.
all of my titles are what ifs for like a year. Like that's like too much,
They
again,
only do
man.
it for like
To be
3 or
fair-
4 months.
To be fair, this
I
whole
don't know.
story isn't finished. We have 2 more issues to go at this point.
Well, 2 more issues of this one. I mean,
Yeah.
all the other issues are tied into
Okay, we
this
have
though.
the rest of the year to go.
We really do, though.
Maybe, who knows? Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Let's give them
Yeah.
the benefit of the doubt and be fair.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of fun stuff in here. Like, I'm absolutely certain of it. I've heard a lot of people say very good things about it. I've read through a couple of things here and there. I was reading through the Ghost Rider one.
That one was great. I highly recommend the Thor's series by Jason Aaron.
Yeah, the Thor Corps.
Yeah.
So since we have all these different territories, the Thors have their own situation.
Right. The
Would you like to
Thors are
elaborate on that?
actually Doctor Doom's, or I should say God Doom.
Yeah.
That's his personal policing authority. So it's literally every single Thor that you've ever seen throughout the Marvel Universe.
Including like the Frog Thor,
Yeah.
Storm as Thor, Beta Ray Bill.
Just imagine just really handsome Green Lanterns. Like all of them are just immaculately good-looking Norse god-like Green Lanterns, and you have like Storm Thor, you have the Frog Thor.
You have 'em all.
Yeah, it's all
It's
of
got
them.
'em- you
And
got-
you even have the failed Thor Odin's son
Oh
from
yeah,
previously.
Yes, from the
And he is
Yeah.
a failed and fallen Thor from the
from
Thor
God
Corps.
Bomb. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you still have now it's the Jane Foster Thor.
Yes.
Spoiler: new Thor's Jane
You know
Foster.
what?
By the way,
We've known for a while.
Yeah.
If you didn't know that, it's not a spoiler. It's your
Yeah.
own fault
Loki
for not
makes
knowing.
it-
There's
but-
the internet.
But the cool thing is everything about Secret Wars, and like I said, guys, don't get bogged down by all the other stuff that's going on outside of the main the main series.
Yeah.
If you just want to know what's going to happen before the new stuff happens in Marvel, just stick to Secret Wars.
Yeah.
If you're a long-time reader
Yeah,
and like
just-
you really want to go back and revisit Grant Morrison's
Or if
X-Men,
you've got $2,000 to drop and you just want to buy all of them.
right?
Because it would cost that much, right?
It's that bad right now.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
like,
the
there's
thing
some
I
fun
was,
stuff.
I mean, I was looking through these, and I was like, I fully intended on reading them last night, and then I was like, I just can't.
I know it's
It
quite a
gets
situation
overwhelming.
when I've read
I-
the comics on the podcast.
I went
that
and
you
read a
haven't.
book. I went and read a book on Kabbalah, which is like way more like crazy and like confusing. But I would rather do that, the Kabbalah confusing, than this confusing. You
Right.
know, I mean, it's just like this is just like It's so much. It's
Yeah.
so
I
overwhelming.
mean, there are even elements from Hickman's Ultimate Universe stories from like 3 and 4 years ago.
Well,
started to
from
play
what we've said so far, I'm starting to
this.
get that this is kind of like, I mean, you have all these different universes which are parts of historic series in comics history.
in moments of Marvel.
So this
yeah.
is kind of like a compliment to readers who have stuck with
Yeah.
all of this for all of time. Be
Totally.
like, hey, look, here's.
I mean,
It's almost like fan fiction for you
it
guys.
is, and it really is kind of like a nice way to say goodbye.
yeah.
Like this is a really good like send
If
off.
it is goodbye, I mean, I don't know what's coming up next, but okay.
I know.
Well,
That's
when the-
what's so scary about it all.
The Marvel Universe is going to jump ahead 8 months after this series is done.
Okay.
So we're just going to get into we're going to just dive right into the new status quo.
Okay.
This is hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like,
So if anyone's
God.
watching this or listening to this right now, do not feel bogged down. We are too.
see, I'm the type of reader that
I
like,
know.
I'm
That's the thing though. Since we did these Epic History X-Men, there's been a lot of people like, I went to the comic book store. I was inspired to get into comics, and it's like this is the worst time for you to try.
yeah, like I'm but it's like when I come to comics, like I come to them for like there's very specific things I want to get out of the comics that I read, you
Right.
know, and the things that I want to get out of them is lighthearted fun, I like those comics a lot. I really like interpersonal relationships. Things like the X-Men, they have a lot of interpersonal
You
relationship
kind of like your soap
stuff.
opera a little bit.
You know,
in
I
your
gotta
X-Men.
have relation. I like the inner worlds more than the outer world. Like I've never been someone who's like, I have to see what happens with Apocalypse. Like I don't give a fuck about what Apocalypse is doing. What I care about is what's going on between Jean and Scott. It's like that's what I care about. Like,
Right.
So
Well-
this isn't for my type of
No.
readership.
Well, I agree.
No.
I still feel the same way as you do. Like, my favorite thing that I read last year was the She-Hulk run.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that because it's so self-contained, yet there's the implication that there's this bigger world out there of superheroes that really exists, and it feels like a real world.
Yeah.
And she's solving these court cases for these
Yeah, and
superheroes,
you
and
have,
that's
like-
it's a lot of fun. It's
and-
very believable.
And you have Matt Murdock, and he'll pop in for a couple issues, and it's awesome.
Which was great.
And you'll have Hank Pym pop in for an issue. I mean, it's so much fun. Her relationship with Hellcat, Patsy Walker, I absolutely
The
adore.
two issues with Steve Rogers, Depowered Captain
That
America.
was so good.
I enjoy
That
a
was so
stable
good.
Marvel universe.
Yeah, I like
Stable.
it. I like it when shit isn't blowing up. I like it when they can just like have a mystery. I like smaller. That's why I like Ant-Man. It's just like I like smaller stories in my superhero comics. Just personally, it's just a personal thing, but
Well,
that's what I'm
like
into.
in the real world. I think the real world is kind of like this. It's where it's so big. It's too big for any one group to ever take over completely. There's always multiple entities vying for power.
Yeah.
And that makes a more believable Marvel universe than when one entity is like, I'm going to take over the universe. And all
Yeah,
this
it's like, oh,
stuff.
that's too much.
And it also should
Anyway.
be said, like a lot of this is also to bring Marvel, under the same umbrella as their movies.
Yeah.
Like I'm the first person to admit that.
Well, yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
thinking
kinda
about the
bring more in
Secret
line.
Wars. That's another reason why I'm not like
Okay.
really inspired to get into this is because Secret Wars did not come about because someone had some brilliant idea that they really wanted to do. That Marvel was like, yeah, sure,
was
we'll
to
fucking
sell
do it.
issues, pure and simple.
Well, it's not to sell issues necessarily. It is to it is to sell issues to like the already readers, but it's also to just lead up to wiping the slate so new readers can come in.
Totally.
But this is the thing. They already did Marvel Now, like, what, a year and a half, 2 years ago?
About a year ago now.
A year ago?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're already, like,
Yeah.
wiping the slate clean. You just wiped it, like, a year ago,
Well,
dude.
Don't forget, we're also into all new Marvel now.
And
That was the new initiative.
Yeah, what are they going to call it after Marvel now?
Yeah.
I guess a
what-
lot of the stuff is still going to stick around after Secret Wars is done.
Yeah, the only, yeah.
Well,
and-
okay, that sounds very cynical. And without being entirely cynical, you can easily be cynical about this.
Dude,
Right.
But
you
this
should
is-
be cynical about how comic book businesses run.
I partially
Like,
agree.
they're not
Well, the comic book industry is
saints.
completely on survival mode all
Yeah,
the time.
all the time.
We understand survival mode.
Yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
You got to do what you got to do.
I know,
in
but
order
they
to
just all their
sell
decisions
books.
are very fear based. I feel like because so you have Avengers 2 and you have like Ant-Man, you have all these movies coming out and people are interested in these
Yeah.
heroes and may want to come actually read the comic books instead of just watching the movies. Even though that's still a
True.
small percentage, there's still some of them coming through. They want to catch those guys and have new number ones and all this stuff. But if you keep doing that like every year, it's like it gets so confusing as to what's what, and then you're constantly restarting over. And it's like, well, what about me? Like you just totally shit on me and like what I.
Well, no,
like,
I got that sensation, just reading this. It's like the comic books are like 2 decades ahead of any
Yeah, they
movie you've
are.
ever seen.
Yeah.
With all this stuff is happening, and it makes you feel a little disconnected.
Well, I just feel like Marvel shouldn't be like, the people who want to read comics, they'll find you.
Totally.
They will come to you, and the movies are enough. You don't have to start rebranding everything every 6 months with new number ones to try to get people in. Like, it's okay. It's just.
Well, anyway,
I don't know.
business decisions aside, I still admire this in part, just like we admired Cloud Atlas the other day.
Yeah.
Because it's super ambitious.
It is, and I do respect it for I
Right.
respect Hickman for trying to push the boundaries and do new things, do bigger
Yeah.
things, do crazier things than anyone's ever done. I totally respect him for that. I just don't have the patience for it
Darren
personally.
always called Hickman an idea machine, and that's something
Yeah.
I've definitely adopted when
Yeah.
I talk about Jonathan Hickman.
Well, yeah, this is a big idea, and the thing
It's
is,
huge.
because this is only at issue number 5 of 8, or is it 6 of 8?
5
It's
of
still not
6.
finished yet, and we don't know where this
Yeah.
is going to go, and like what the big picture is. I mean, maybe this is like it has some kind of message about what it is to be a god of a universe. I don't know. There could be something significant to say there.
I don't know, I've just-
Something to explore before it's over yet.
I've
so I'm
just
interested
done
to see what
so
happens.
many of these events that I just don't believe that.
I
only
understand where you're
believe that
coming
it's
of.
only just to start it over and do number ones.
You are going to have, I mean, if you've been a
I
long
understand
time
your
comic book
cynical
reader, you are definitely going to have,
been
like,
burnt so many times.
I know, you're definitely going to have burnout from, like, epic events.
Well, and that's
gonna
another
happen.
thing. That's another complaint that I have is Marvel and DC both keep doing a fucking event every fucking 6 months, and there'll be 3 events going at once. And it's just like, cool it with the events, man. Like, give me an event like once
Just tell
every
me the
3
story.
years.
Just give me a good story.
5 years, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, or have a small event within its own, comic series. Like the X-Men can have their own maybe little event
I
or
thought
something.
Spider-Verse was an excellent version of that.
Right, exactly.
Spider-Verse just happened in the Spider-Man
There are
comics,
ways to
you
do
know?
this without being fucking annoying
Well,
and
I
trying to
heard-
be a sellout and just be like, we're just gonna sell you all these different. We're just trying to do number ones and boom the market.
I
and
heard a
spike
rumor
it
at Comic-Con, and maybe you can tell me if this is true or not. Maybe this will help the comic book industry. Is like once this is finished and we go into the new whatever Marvel universe it is, there will be less books. Like maybe they'll cut down to like
Yes, they
30
are, yeah.
instead of 50.
Well, I don't know if they're cutting down to 30, but they're cutting them down.
Because
I
for
think.
me,
gonna
when I
get-
walk into a comic book store with you, comics are devouring themselves. There's too much
Yeah.
for
Well,
you
they're just
to
throwing
suck
as much
in.
shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. That's what
But-
they've always
but-
done.
Yeah, but I agree. And all that shit is
Mostly
covering
shit.
up all the stuff that would be good that you might be able to find.
Yeah.
So
Well-
we could have something that's super popular and super good, but
Do
not
you want me
people
to
are
break
finding
your
it.
heart right now?
Yeah,
What?
go for it. Tell me.
Is it like
Marvel
more?
announced 45 new books, but they all start at number 1. So some of them are like old creative teams, like Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel will start off at number 1 again, but it's still Willow Wilson and
Yeah.
her team, and it'll still be like the same guys who are working on Spider-Woman. But then they also kind of like announced a few more books last week, so we're looking at about 50 titles from Marvel.
See, what exactly are they? That's another thing. I don't know what they're cleaning up. It's like when DC did New 52, you knew what the deal was. They were
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, we're going to come in, all the shit that's happened before now, fuck
Fuck
it. Like,
All right.
don't even
Let's
worry about
pretend
it.
that we are the editor-in-chief of Marvel right now. Here's what I would do.
Okay.
30 books. That's it. You can only do 30. Even that's a lot. Most people can't buy 30 books. You know?
Putting
Then
a
we'll
lot of
find the
people
first
out
10.
of work, by the way.
What would you do?
I mean, I would shave it down. I would shave it down. How many books are there right now going? Like 50 something?
Well, a lot of them are kind of like
Yeah, it's all weird right now.
consolidated right now. That's the only way I can say it.
Well, I would slim it down for sure. Like okay, for example, the X-Men. I know that like this is something I'm scared about, but also kind of hopeful about. So, they're getting Marvel's gotten rid of Fantastic Four comics
no Fantastic
just to
Four
fuck
planned.
over Fox because
Yeah.
they don't want Fox making any money. Which why
The-
do you have to
the-
fuck
the-
them over? They fuck themselves over.
Yeah.
Fine. We've had Fantastic Four for long enough. We can go for a while without it.
But the X-Men are also owned by Fox. And I think that they, Disney has said openly that they are trying to downplay the X-Men. You do not see them played up in any of the images that they have coming out, any of the Lego stuff, any Marvel property, you barely ever, if ever, see any X-Men.
Yeah.
So I just feel like they're going to slim down the X-Men a whole lot. And part of me is terrified that I don't want them to get rid of them entirely, but I know that they'll never get rid of them entirely. I mean, my rational part of my brain's like, that's never going to happen. Don't worry about it. And part of me,
but it's still a valid fear to have.
but part of me is excited about the idea of maybe just having 2 X-Men comics like it used to be in the 80s. Those stories were much better. They were much more. They weren't as spread out. You could really focus on some characters. So
No,
it
that
could
would
be
be
a
great.
good thing. It could be a good thing. So I'm trying to look
I
at
know
the.
that there's
but I gotta
going to be at least 3 Team X-Men comics.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I do have a question. I never picked up the. I kind of want to pick it up if it's good. I don't know. You gotta tell me. Did you pick up the '90s X-Men that they did an '90s
92
X-Men?
X-Men.
It's based on the animated series.
Oh.
Oh,
It
really?
continues from the animated series.
I thought it was based on like the
Oh.
Jim Lee.
They had some of the, a
stuff.
little bit of both.
Was it any good?
It's fun.
Is
Is
it?
the
that
art
it's
good?
like,
Fine. I mean, it's just great to go revisit those costumes and,
Yeah.
you know.
Is the
I
art
don't know.
good?
It's exactly okay. How do I put it this way? Every Secret Wars tie-in book has, for the most part, accurately caught the feel and vibe of what it is they're mimicking.
Yeah.
I think that series did it.
Yeah.
It brought that vibe back.
All right.
Let's go back to Secret Wars.
Okay.
Because we kind of just stopped and talked about business
Well,
for an hour.
that's
It's what we do.
I mean, maybe there's nothing left to say. Like,
Yeah,
but
I
I want
mean-
to say what I thought about it as a
Okay.
new reader.
Yes.
I enjoyed, for one, the art.
Yes.
It's-
Isad Ribic and
It's
Ives
fantastic,
Forcino.
right? That's the guy that did Thor that we did a big video about.
Yes.
That was awesome.
Killer team.
I want to buy this whole issue when it's finished in the trade paperback, just for the art alone, just to study it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because we're artists, we really enjoyed.
No, I love the artwork. Totally.
Yeah, and it really has a good tone. Like I feel like I can get into the tone, especially because I've been reading, classic X-Men, and then jumping to this. It's like, this has a very modern tone. The writer Hickman does a good job of I don't know, making you curious. You're like, oh, where is this going? What's going to happen next? Sort of feel.
Now I do have my prediction, but we'll get to that at the end.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well-
let's jump to spoilers then.
What's your prediction?
Let's do spoilers.
I think this all comes down to Doom and Reed Richards. Mm-hmm. Doom is King Doom, and in the series,
And
we're
he's
gonna get a little
merged
spoilery.
with a Beyonder,
He's-
maybe.
No,
Nobody
he's
knows
just
for
set
sure.
himself up
Oh,
as the
okay.
most powerful being.
Yeah.
Like it's Doom is absolute, Doom is right, Doom
Yeah.
is the way, the truth, the light.
Yeah.
And
Spoiler alert, I was really shocked because I was excited about when Cyclops became the Phoenix. And it was really cool, that scene where he's got
awesome.
the Phoenix and an egg, and it's like
The Phoenix egg, yeah.
ready to like hatch it and give himself the Phoenix power. It's like, yes, the Phoenix is coming. He'll be the one person that can take out Doom. No,
no,
apparently not.
Everybody
really.
hates Phoenix and Scott Summers. Nobody knows how to write that shit right, in my opinion.
Well, I was excited about it for
Except
obvious reasons.
Claremont.
but
Anyway.
yeah, I think this is all going to end the way it began, and it's Doom versus Reed Richards.
Yeah.
That's going to be the final battle.
Yeah,
Because I mean, Doom
Well-
in this series it's painfully obvious that he's jealous of Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Like he's made Reed's family his own now.
Mm-hmm.
He's married to Sue. Valerie is his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like he basically looks at what Reed has. He's
And-
always wanted that, and it's the family.
Yeah.
That
And-
thing they were trying to set up in the Fantastic Four movie that was one scene that was awkwardly out of place.
The point that they completely missed in the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four film
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
is
yeah.
at the core how this series is going to go down
Yeah.
and end. And that's just my prediction.
Well, yeah, Doom has such a great tension because there is a part of him that wants to be Reed, who's so kind of like, he is kind of dorky family dad guy,
Yeah.
science dude. But it's like, but he's so torn because he also wants to be a god. It's like
Totally.
Doom's like, I want to be a god,
And
but I
when-
want to have a wife and a kid maybe.
I wanna
but,
be the average
I really
family
want to
man."
be a god. Like,
I want to be the family guy and a god.
And it was really cool because you find out in the series that Doctor Strange teamed up with Doom and helped make like Doom's plans happen.
Yeah.
And when Reed finally shows back up again and is realizing like the nightmare that is
What the
Doom,
fuck, bro?
Whatever, like you let Doom do this,
Yeah.
and he asked Stephen Strange like, why? And he goes, well, quite frankly, Reed, Doom's really good at playing God.
He's very good at it. He's born to play a god. Like, that guy's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, he's super nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Doom's an interesting character, for sure. Do you think that he will survive this?
If
Or-
the Marvel Universe moves on without a Doctor Doom, I would be so sad.
Yeah.
I would be so sad.
Yeah.
Doom, I think, is one of the coolest, complex
He's
characters.
So,
'cause
yeah.
I don't even want to call him a villain anymore.
I know,
You
that's
know?
the thing. He's very interesting to me. I think
When
that
Doom
Fox should make
works,
some Doom movies.
yeah. When Doom works, things go right.
Yeah.
Like you look at.
Yeah, I mean,
You know.
he's a shithead, but he's efficient.
Well, that was your pitch for what to do with the Fantastic Four movie franchise. Was
Yeah.
to do a Doom.
We have a whole cut
Movie.
scene from our Fantastic
Yeah.
Four episode where
I
I,
don't know
was
if that'll
like,
come out,
I
but-
pitched my Doom idea for a Doom trilogy. In you do like his origins in the first one, and him taking over Latveria and getting his powers in the suit.
Right.
Second one, him and Fantastic Four come, have a fight. And the third one, Galactus comes, or Silver Surfer's like, hey, Galactus gonna come eat your planet, and then they have to work together to defeat Galactus.
That would be so cool.
Done. And then you can forgive the goofiness of the Fantastic Four because they're in the background. They're not like, you're not with them when they get their powers. You're with Doom. Like, he just hears about it on the TV or something.
It'd be so great just to see a movie where
Internet.
like they're already just the Fantastic Four. Can we just
Yeah,
skip
it's
to that
fine.
part?
It's fine.
It's like to actually do like a Doom origin story would be way more
Way
interesting.
cooler. Watching him take over Latveria and
Well, I mean,
That'd be
So
awesome.
truthfully, where are we with Secret Wars? We're in the middle of it. If you're a casual reader, I would only stick with the main series.
That's true.
If you're
And,
not a new reader, or if you're a new reader, stay away until 2016.
Yeah, I think
Maybe.
everything in
And
November.
for what we know, like once this wraps up, it could be like, well, that was the biggest what if, and it was fun for what it was.
Or if you want to get into comics, don't read Marvel right now. Just go to Image or IDW,
Right,
or
which is
you
what
know,
we're about to
Boom,
talk about.
Or Boom Studios, or Black Mask, or
Like,
all the other cool stuff
there's
we got
so-
out there.
Dark
Which
Horse,
is what
I
we're
mean-
about to talk about
Oh,
after
yeah.
this commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk about Wicked and the Divine and Phonogram. And we're back.
Yay!
All right, we're gonna
back.
move on. We're gonna talk about some Image comics that are hot right now.
Cool.
And we also
alright.
still have to bring up Spider-Man and the X-Men #1. Why don't you go into that
Oh, actually,
right now?
super tiny spotlight. Okay, so right before I kind of dropped off, I picked up this thing called Spider-Man and the X-Men. It's a limited series. It's only 6 issues. I'm sure it's in trade paperback form.
There you go.
And, Logan is dead. There's no headmaster there. But he asked... He
Peter
sent
Parker.
Peter a letter saying, "Hey, I need you. There's a mole. There's a spy."
Mm-hmm.
And in this gifted, or not gifted, in this like
We call them
challenge,
special class.
the special class,
It's
yeah,
kind of like the extension of the Grant Morrison's.
yeah,
Class.
the troubled teens class.
At risk.
The
The
at-risk
at-risk.
teens class. I had actually taken one of those when I was in middle school. I don't know why. I was a really good kid, but whatever.
So this is something you really enjoyed, right?
Yes, I had so much fun with this. This reminded me of the Jason Aaron, Wolverine the X-Men stuff.
I thought it did a great job of capturing the
Oh my
spirit
gosh, it
that
was-
Jason Aaron did.
It was hilarious. I laughed out loud reading this, like the Sauron stuff, where like him and Stegron get together and they're gonna like take over and turn everyone into dinosaurs.
I know, like, he's like,
and
Yeah.
you're a giant, genetic genius. Like, why don't you cure cancer? He's like, I just want to turn everyone into dinosaurs.
Yeah, I don't want to cure cancer. Like I love it. And
We
like
ended
I-
up putting that in X-Men Volume 1.
yeah,
so it's so
totally.
funny.
It
Oh,
was
did
so
you?
good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I did a
right.
voice acting of it. But like, and I love that they fall for Shark Girl because she's like prehistoric essentially. I mean, sharks haven't changed that much, so they
Right.
kind of take her and she like fools them and makes them think that she likes them, but then it's so funny. There's so many great moments in this. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, if you're looking for just kind of like a fun, like
it was perfect.
weird,
for me-
And
young
this-
X-Men and
this should
Spider-Man
be in
team up
trade
thing.
paperback form by now, right?
Yeah, totally. This is totally in there. I love iBoy, although his name should be iGuy. I mean, let's be real
I like
about it.
iGuy.
I like iGuy better, but maybe he'll evolve into that. But iBoy's in there.
Well, talking about smaller stories, this is
Oh
the
yeah,
kind of
super
thing
small story, super small. Glob Herman,
But this is kind of
Ernst.
perfect as far as what you were talking about, what you
No
like
Girl.
getting out of the bigger company stories.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was perfect.
And again, like it is off the Grant Morrison, new X-Men thing with the special class from his deal with Ernst and No Girl and Glob Herman and all those guys. I mean, there's some new ones in here that there's some that have switched out, but it's so much fun. I really
Well,
enjoyed it.
Anytime you
So.
make Sauron the main guy,
I know,
that's
Sauron.
just
because there's not a lot you can do with Sauron, because he
yeah.
just wants to make everyone dinosaurs.
He's
you know?
ridiculous. Like I love him. He's so much fun. So yeah, check it out if that's what you're in the market for. If
And the
you
art.
loved Wolverine the X-Men,
and
yes.
the art is fantastic
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Well, it changes a little
Yeah,
bit, but
there's a couple artist changes, but it's all fun. Like it never
Yeah.
like devolves into something that you're like, I hate this. But yeah, really, really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun with it. Check it out. It's, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I
I'm
loved
just
it.
tickled about how happy you were with that series.
I know.
Because, I mean, that was kind of like that thing where it's like Spider-Man's leading an X-Men team, and you kind of like get down to it's like Spider-Man's leading the worst X-Men team?
Yeah. He's got a bunch of kids that hate him and think he's a dork.
Yeah.
Because he comes in class and he's wearing a Spider-Man outfit, but he has like a teacher jacket on to like try to look. I don't know. It was so funny.
It really nailed.
That's a better series for new readers. if
Yeah,
they
that's a
want to.
Absolutely.
perfect. Like if you just want to have a fun, weird series to
Yeah.
just like that doesn't matter, like that's not connected to anything. It's fine. You can just read it.
And it introduces you to the new class of the X-Men characters in the school.
Yeah, because there's a lot of like young X-Men like right now. There's a lot of young Marvel. There's like a young Hollywood of Marvel mutants. I feel like.
You think so?
I don't know.
like that.
Well, there's a lot of younger characters that are up
Kid
and coming.
Omega's their leader.
Totally. Oh my
Dude,
god.
he's a-
iBoy, Glob Herman.
But he's
so,
like,
so,
but I mean,
well, not a Glob Herman, but iBoy is supposed to be
Glob
really
Herman's a
badass.
star. Come on. He's going to break out soon.
He's an idiot.
Glob saves the day, one of the issues.
He does
Yeah.
though. He always has. I
Yeah.
mean, he tries. He's not a complete waste.
Like
but
Glob. He's that's a character that's definitely grown on me. Like, all right, Glob.
I know he's so stupid.
Oh, you.
I love
Okay.
him.
Well, so check that out. Hopefully it's in trade paperback by now,
It
which
is.
means you can buy
It
all.
is.
How many are here? 8 or 9 of this?
6.
Maybe 6.
So 6 limited 6 series.
Okay.
So,
And let's move on to Wicked and Divine.
man, look at these beautiful covers. Just
Oh,
The
All
best
the
covers
hotness.
in comics today.
All
Yes,
the hotness.
For sure. So, all right, Wicked and the Divine.
I'm gonna let you take most of this.
Well, let me start it off. Let me
Okay.
kick it off. Wicked and the Divine is an Image comic. It is Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey teaming up again. They've been kind of a pair, a duo since Phonogram. I think that was their first.
That was their first book.
published Image deal.
Are they a couple?
No.
Just friends?
I'm pretty sure they're each other's work wife.
Wait, is
Okay.
Yeah.
is Jamie a girl?
No,
or a boy?
guy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
By
what
the
I
way,
thought. It
I
was a
met
boy.
them at Comic-Con,
Yeah,
and they
they're
were both
boys.
delightfully British.
Oh, really?
They were just sweet and took time with
Gosh.
all the
Well,
fans.
like reading the back of the Wicked, or actually reading the back of the Phonogram, which we'll get into later,
Mm-hmm.
where Kieran Gillen has like a little back page where he's so self-aware of, like, he's so funny, like
Yes.
he's really witty and snappy, and I love him in general. Just from what I haven't met him or anything like that, but what I've read of his stuff, like I totally think he's cool.
Dude,
I've tweeted with him a little bit.
You guys would definitely get along because I was just very much. I had drinks in me when I ran into them. First, I did a signing with them, and with them, I was like, "Oh my god, would you sign all my stuff?" But then I ran into him at the Hyatt one night, and I had a few drinks in me, but I was just like, "You guys are the reason why I want to write."
Yeah,
And he's like, "What do you want to write?" I'm like, "Whatever I can get my hands on." And he goes, "Well, that's the end of this conversation. That's all I needed to hear to make sure I'm still doing the right thing." I was like,
Awesome.
"That was great, awesome." I will
Super
go get
rad.
another drink now and leave you alone.
Well, I love that Gillen is really into pop culture, and he's
Yes.
also into like magic and like mythology. I'm sure the occult, I assume, to some degree, because I mean, you're making an entire thing about gods, about different gods in the now. I don't. It's like pop culture plus gods. It's so rad.
It's perfect.
Okay, so let me give you kind of a synopsis of what's going on.
Wicked
Okay,
and
let
Divine.
me see if I can get this right. So like every 90 some years.
Every 90 years.
Every 90 years, this pantheon, these 12 gods incarnate. And when that happens, they essentially take over the body of an adolescent person from like 12 to like 18 or something in there. And they possess this body. And so this person who kind of still has their own identity to some degree,
They're
but
very
now
aware of who they are still as a
Yes.
person, or who they were.
but now they have these powers and this other kind of spirit living through them. But they know that after 2 years, they have to die. They can only be on Earth for 2 years, and then they die, and then they come back in another 90 years. We don't know exactly why
We're not sure
that
yet.
is. We're still not sure. I know that we're like 13 issues in, and like, so I don't know exactly where this is going, but it's so beautiful and it's so much fun, and I just love these characters so much that I'm just like willing to keep going, which is something that I don't do for everything. Like,
Right.
Like this is like I think this is. I know that he's still learning, and like I feel like this is kind of an experimental thing for him. But I just
You mean
like
for the writing team, the
yeah,
creative team.
yeah, Kieran Gillen. I feel like this is like kind of experimental for him, and I love it though. I love him as an artist. Kind of, I know I'm going to follow this person, so I will experiment with him.
Absolutely.
Like I will do this.
Something I took away from it, and especially early on in the first issues. You know how, and you taught me this, is when you read Alan Moore, and you realize that he's kind of educating you and teaching you through the comic, which is the greatest lesson you can learn.
Well, it's
so
like the
cool.
best way to learn because it's fun.
I feel like when we read, and that happens in Wicked and Divine, especially through like a lot of the narrative through one of the characters, is that Gillen is actually educating himself as he's writing the story, and we're along for the ride.
Well-
He's not teaching at us or to us. It's this lesson that we're all kind of like going along with together.
It's kind of like a spell. I feel
Yeah.
like he's casting a spell, and we're just like, I'll feed into this, kind of like with in Phonogram, they have like phonomancers, and people dance along with them, and that's how they get
retromancers.
power because they
That's
just like that
yeah.
music. And I feel like he's doing that with me with Wicked and the Divine.
Well,
like,
as a writer, the best motivation for learning something is to learn it so that you can put it into the work you're creating.
Absolutely.
yeah. Well, it's like, and so these gods have now they've come again,
Yep.
and they've just all decided to be pop stars. So there's concerts, and people come to these concerts. They essentially, at their concert, they use their god powers to enthrall the crowd and kind of put them under a spell, and they have the best night of their lives.
Essentially.
And everybody loves them. Oh, some people hate them, but they're on Twitter. I mean, they are like
They talked about that in issue 13.
they are pop
which,
stars as pop stars are today. They have
Twitter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're on Twitter,
And can you throw that one over there? Because this is the issue that I want people to read because it's a really great self-contained issue.
Oh, yeah.
And the art's fantastic. By I'm gonna screw her name up. Say her name really
Gosh,
quickly.
hold on. Let me see.
She's a French artist and she's amazing.
Oh gosh, where's her name? They always put it somewhere weird in like these ones. In the oh, here we go. Oh yeah,
Tula
Lotay. Yeah, I follow her on Instagram.
And she's amazing.
awesome.
She also just did a Warren Ellis miniseries called Supreme Blue, which kind of touched on the 90s Supreme that Alan Moore wrote.
Yeah,
But-
well, just great coloring in this comic too. And that's another thing about this
Yeah.
comic. The art is just ridiculous. Like Jamie McKelvey, I fucking love his art so much. And like,
How
it's
much
so,
has he influenced modern comic books now?
Oh my god, like
How much?
his fucking clothes are like Like this dude is so fucking fashionable. Like this
Yeah.
guy's like I would kill to have him design my outfits. You know,
He did a
like he's
miniseries.
amazing.
He did a miniseries right after Phonogram, and I'm gonna forget the name of it. It was something fashion or fashion whatever, but he wrote and did all the art. But every character, like he nailed the rockabilly girl with the 3/4 sleeve tattoos and the creepers,
Yeah.
and all the high school students. Like it was so like on the pulse of how people dress, and especially
Right.
like
Well, that's-
fashionably edgy.
This is my thing. Is like I'm really into like clothes and fashion. Like it's one of my vices. Although I can't indulge in it nearly as much as I would like to. But you know, growing up with comic books, like I was a lot of times found myself very disappointed with what the outfits that people were drawing on people. I was just
Totally.
like, and a lot of guys, like you know, it's usually a male artist, and they usually don't give a fuck about fashion, and they just put girls in like a tank top with their belly button showing and some like jeans or something or cutoffs, or just like they're just like leggings, you know, like they don't even have, and they have no folds in them, they have no embellishments to them, like they just look totally boring and lame.
Another
and this
thing-
is not it. This
Well,
is like
I think this
No.
is the girl you
everything.
want to dress like.
Oh my god, Lucy.
Lucifer.
When I first met
Lucifer.
you, this is how you were dressed.
Oh my god. Well, I wasn't just that cool.
Well, that's what your hair looked like, at
I
least.
wish.
That's what your
Sorry.
hair looked like.
Yeah, I have. I
And
did
you wore a lot of white,
I
too.
did the bleached hair. I had
You're
a lot
more
of
black
wife
now.
beaters. Yeah, but I had a white cat, now a black cat. You know, it's a theme in my life. But
By
it's
the way, Brian Lee O'Malley also really good at modern fashion,
oh
especially
yeah,
for women.
Oh yeah, like really fun, just really
Yeah.
cute shit. Like just very Japanese.
Just had to
like,
throw that stuff out there really quickly.
But yeah, Lucifer, man. I mean, fuck. Like, I want to cosplay as her so bad. Like, she's so dope because she looks also like David Bowie. She looks like the thin white Duke phase of his. You know, it's just so androgynous and so hot. Like, she looks so good. Yeah, they totally got me with that shit. Like, absolutely. And another thing is I'm interested in gods. Like, I really like gods are like superheroes to me. Like.
Essentially.
They're like these weird characters and they have their weird fucking stories and mythologies. And so I've been doing a lot of studying of different gods, and it's been really fun to kind of, this has helped me broaden my horizon of knowledge about them or going to look up more about them. And I've made some really fun connections too. Like, okay, so you have the prince looking guy. Oh my God, his fucking outfits are the best. Inanna,
Okay.
who is a feminine goddess from Sumeria, who's the goddess of love and war and fertility and all these things. And he's got like a star, like her sign is the star. So he's wearing all this star stuff, you know? But it's totally in a guy's body. It's like a male, female goddess. It's amazing. It's amazing. He's like Prince. He's fucking essentially like Prince.
Right.
Because Prince is very in touch with his feminine side, and it's amazing. And he just makes it so sexy. But yeah, so anyways.
Prince is a god.
So this goddess in particular is, or was, associated with the morning star, which is like Venus. You know, at one point during Venus's going around the fucking universe, it rises in the morning. And it's funny because she, or he, sleeps with Lucifer, and that's what causes like him and Baal to have a, I don't know, Baal is like not down with that because he was like in love
Baal
with
is, by the way, my favorite one.
He's super rad
because
too.
he's based off of Kanye, and Kanye is a god.
Yeah.
So
And he's the Canaanite Baal, for
Yeah.
all of you who are interested. But yeah, anyways, so Lucifer, interestingly enough, is also associated with the morning star. And is also associated with desire, you know, like temptation, things like that. So, like, Lucifer essentially is a Christian version of Inanna in a way, in a male form, I guess. And so it's like they totally would have sex together because they're like, they're the same. Like, it makes so much sense. Like, I love it. And
yeah, they
I
would
mean,
totally do it.
they
would
totally
do it.
would do it. And they're both, like, kind of slutty, you know? Like, they're hot sluts, you know, both of them. And, like, in the best way possible. I use the word slut loosely. Like, some people are really, like, that's
Right.
a trigger word for them. It's
Slut
not
in-
like that.
In the positive sense.
Slut in the
Look,
best way possible.
I'm a cookie slut. I love cookies, you know? I mean, it could be applied to anything. So, Yeah, I love that aspect of it. And like there was a I don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
I'm gonna stay out of spoilers for this one because like
both first 2 trades are out. So if you want to get caught up, it's very easy to do.
like,
This is
it's-
the best time to get into
this
it.
is
exactly.
this is the best time like to get into this. But yeah, it's just I've just been having so much fun with it. It's just I don't know, what are your experiences, Kirk? How do you feel about?
It's amazing when you find a comic like this that just speaks so wholly to everything that you're interested in. Mm-hmm. And for me, it really is. They grabbed me with Phonogram because music is magic.
Yeah.
But now exploring that from a different angle, it's just I don't know. It's also
Oh my God.
I'm a sucker for world building.
Yeah.
So this world is so well thought out.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that that the world this encompasses just accepts so yes, they are gods on Earth.
Yeah, and like teens love them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they flock to their concerts.
I'll never get over the art. The art is amazing.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like I said, any comic that's educational,
Yeah.
and then also hits, because this comic is really good at hitting certain emotional highs and lows for me. Mm-hmm. That's what I always look for. I always look for the emotional trigger, and this has had it.
Yeah. Well,
Over and over again.
especially this issue, like you were saying, this is
Like
one
I
of your
said,
favorite
I want
issues.
that's the one where if you haven't figured out whether you want to pick up the series or not, start with that one because it's a great self-contained. It was a little bit of a breather while they were giving McKelvey a little time to
Yeah.
get caught up on art duties.
Are those little Twitter comments?
Well, yeah, there's
Yeah.
this one part where so there's this one goddess. Her name's Tara, but
Fucking Tara.
everybody hates her. Her hashtag it's hashtag fucking Tara because everybody just doesn't like her.
Yeah.
She's the god because she doesn't want like her personally, like not the god part of herself, but the human part of herself is like really rejecting of this because she's just like. This is bullshit. This is an illusion. These people love me because the way I make them feel,
She
not
wants
because
to-
they love
yeah,
me.
She wants to be recognized for the
Like-
music, not for being a god who's making music.
Yeah, and so she's like, I don't know, she's not comfortable with it. She's not comfortable with fame and fortune, which
Mm-hmm.
fame and fortune, newsflash, most people would not be comfortable with it. It fucking sucks, like in so many ways.
No, it's
like,
awful.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't know. We'll get into that later, but they talk about that here, where it's like she's kind of like talking about how how she's not super stoked on everything, and then she sees this fucking all these tweets about her, and it's just like all these tweets, they're like not all of them are mean, but like there's a
Right.
bunch of them that are mean, and just little snippy things,
Also, really
But
telling
each one of those suck
Yeah.
your energy.
Yeah, but how it's just like it sucks. Like she starts crying. Like it's just like seeing that shit. It's just like why do these people like leave me alone?
And
Like
the
I don't
worst
want to
part
deal
is-
with
Put that
any
in there,
of you.
that's great.
Yeah.
And the
That's
worst part is
great.
like this character is also, she's a naturally beautiful woman, and you see her grow up and the way that she's mistreated or
Yeah,
not
people are
taken
like, show me your
seriously.
tits, and she's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm
and
walking
everyone
down the
just doesn't
street.
accept the fact that she could actually be a talented person.
Yeah.
But it's just that
just
woman will
meat.
always trade in being beautiful, and it's not who this character is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So even when she becomes a god, like she gets empowered with the pantheon, she wears a mask.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She continues to wear a mask even though she's like just people are jealous of who she is.
yeah,
and they
the
wanna
most
be
gorgeous
her.
thing. Like, who wouldn't want to be her? But it's like, you might not want to be her. Everyone thinks like they have this like this very abstract idea that everything is so awesome for like people at the top, like super pop stars and stuff like that. And it's like, no, man, it's a nightmare. The thing that's really odd to me is like, I'll talk to people sometimes. I'll be like, hey, man, I feel sorry for Justin Bieber, or I feel sorry for Britney Spears, because I really genuinely
Or
do.
Dave
Like,
Chappelle, or-
they're not. They
Oof.
came into this thing when they were children. They didn't consciously know what they were doing when they gave up certain things. They'll never have a normal life. They'll always be like in the fucking public eye all the time. There's always this pressure on them. Like it's fucking like I would hate that. And people are like, why? They have so much money, and it's like, so you think that money makes all of that bullshit better? Money does not make all that bullshit. I mean, yeah, it can help in some ways, but it's really, it sucks.
It puts you in a different
reading a shitty tweet
situation,
sucks,
but you
no matter
still
how much
have-
money you have.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. People have feelings. Like, you still have feelings. Money doesn't take away your fucking feelings and your spirit. It's like,
You still have life problems to overcome no matter what financial situation you're in.
oh yeah.
And most people are not
Well, I
working
mean, they
on their
do
life
say
problems.
more money, more problems. There's another thing too, where Tara. There's something that happens with Tara, and there's a tweet here, and then you read all these people, and they're interacting with each other, and someone says something shitty, and then someone's like, "Hey, fuck you, you shouldn't say that yet," and someone's like, "Hey, da da da," and it's like totally Twitter.
Well, it's
like
definitely
fucking
Twitter, and it's
Twitter.
definitely also
and then it's like, and then it just turns into a giant like snowball
it
effect,
also
you know.
is a really great commentary on mob mentality.
Oh yeah.
Like you know,
Really?
yeah, that's
Damn,
what I think it is.
You sold me. I've got to read this now.
Yeah, like it's you know what? Also, if you ever want to see
Because I
something
can't
really
stand
cool,
mob mentality in modern times.
Well, that's something that's going on that people don't even realize it's going on. It's like there are fucking witch hunts happening a lot lately,
Yeah.
like on social
thing
media,
is, like,
especially on
when
the
people are
internet.
just bored.
Look,
Yeah.
we read tons of YouTube comments, and in a way, I was thinking about this last night. In a way, it's like you become a god of your environment.
Well, yeah, you have this weird little pocket universe.
Yeah, you have this pocket universe of these people, and some of them hate you, and some of them you love you, some of them worship you almost. You know.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out.
Some of them are funny. Some of them are weird. Some of them are awkward. Some of
Yeah.
them are fine. Some of them are cool.
and
like
it
it's
gives you a new
everything.
perspective of humanity. that
Well,
you
you're
never had
exposed
before.
to every type of humanity. Like
Yeah.
on the internet, you're
Yes.
exposed to every.
Yes, you're right. In comments, there's one of every type of person.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's a little.
You also see the
Overwhelming.
dark side of humanity, and you see
Yeah.
that there's a lot of unsolved problems and a lot of like simple basic emotions happening, like jealousy.
Yeah.
Like,
But it
You don't
definitely
need to
is
be-
amplified. You take a magnifying glass to
Yeah.
it, and it becomes way
Well,
scarier
it's
and ugly.
interesting where when you read things that are like kind of weird or fucked up, you know, and you think to yourself, what emotion made them say that? Like trying to understand
Yeah.
like where they came from with it.
But
It's
what's
just,
interesting-
and it's really depressing because you can tell like they're so upset with their lives and they're so like they
Oh,
feel
yeah.
so hopeless,
people
you know,
are
and they're
very
just so
unhappy with their lives as
it
a
just
whole.
is really
and that's the big
sad.
that's the major catharsis that's bringing out all these emotions, that people are so unhappy with their lives.
Yeah.
And if they see anyone that's they perceive as being happy with their lives, well, I've got to do something about this.
it's weird.
There's
you
a lot
just
to
said
be
that,
said.
and everything, like all the air got taken out of me. Like, oh
It's
man.
weird.
Well, that's what I like about what you're describing about this book series, is exploring that, because in my opinion, like we're entering a time where there's the potential that anyone could be famous
Yeah.
to a degree.
Definitely.
Like, you know, you can go out there and you can make something on the internet and you can
yeah.
blow up, and then you can understand a new perspective on reality that you never had before. Most
And some people
don't
are
know.
not ready to be thrown outside of like the little world that they've created for themselves.
Well, the thing
or to be
is-
exposed to
is
anything beyond
The
that.
thing is
Yeah.
when you become known, then the more known you are, the less human you become, you know, or allowed to be. I guess the less human you are allowed to be. So when you're like Angelina Jolie status, you know, you have got to like constantly like do everything perfect, you know, and say everything perfect and
Well,
guard
also,
your fucking
people
shit
like that,
all the time.
Like A-list celebrities, they must be the most isolated of all
Oh my
human beings on the
god,
planet.
they have to be. It's
You have
so
enough money to
bizarre.
build
You
walls
can't
to
go
protect
anywhere.
yourself now.
You can't just go on a walk.
No.
You can't just go to a restaurant. You can't just go to 7-Eleven.
You can't communicate with a regular person at
It's
all.
like it's crazy.
because they will be like, oh, you're
I know.
Angelina Jolie, you're
you
God.
can just be a person, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. It's like, you know, even the modicum of fame that I have, you know, it's like I've noticed like they hold me to some crazy standard sometimes. Like, dude, I'm a human being, guys. Like,
Some do.
I mean, there's a lot of reasonable people who don't, but there's definitely some people very vocal who are just like,
No,
whoa, like,
you know,
yo, dude.
Yeah, no, there's been people that walk up to you and they're like nervous, and they like their hands are shaking when they're
Oh
trying
yeah,
to talk
that's
to
always. I'm
It's
just like,
like-
dude, no, it's cool, bro.
you. In a way, that's
no biggie.
nice that you think that way, but I don't know.
It's kind of cute though.
Yeah.
But if you really just want
But
to
it's
talk
crazy.
comic books really quickly, down for that too.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
You know?
But well, back to the Wicked and the Divine. That's something that they also explore in this is
Yeah.
people wanting to be like. There's this one character that we follow through this comic. Her name's
Angela,
Laura.
right?
Laura.
Laura.
I think it's Laura. And we follow her, and she is like super fangirl into all this. She gets mixed up with these gods. Like there's Lucifer has a situation going on. She gets mixed up in, and
She so desperately also wants what they
she
have.
wants to be one of them.
Yeah.
You know, and they're still incarnating.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. All of them have not incarnated. So there's still a few out there. And she's like, maybe I could be one of them.
Right.
You know, it's this whole thing. And she really wants this, like, more than anything. And it's a really interesting look at, like, at that whole, you know, it's just, it's very, and what it does to her, you know, like what this longing does to her and how these gods kind of tear her apart in a lot of ways. And there's a lot of interesting things going on about fame, about pop culture, about social media, about gods, you know.
Well, that's
and
great.
we're really getting into it, but on the surface, the first 2 volumes are kind of a murder mystery. Because, like I said, these gods only get to live for 2 years,
Yeah.
and someone's offing them.
Yeah.
Someone is prematurely killing off the gods.
Yeah, and they only have 2 years, and you're getting in like you already have like
So
almost no time.
One
you
of the
know?
series starts off as a murder mystery, and then the mystery gets solved.
Kind of.
And I'm really excited to see what happens next, because now it's just kind of turned the entire series on its ear.
yeah, there's some weird new developments happening. Like I said, I really don't know where it's
This is
going,
a
but
great-
I'm here. I'm going.
This is why I love creator-owned comics right now. I mean,
Yeah.
I will always read DC and I will always read Marvel, but there is so
There's
much
a
cool shit like
renaissance.
this out there.
There's a renaissance. I mean, it's like
Of-
there's so many great indie titles out there. This is like the best
Yeah.
time for indie titles like ever. Like this is it.
Someone said this, and I've adopted it, so I wish I could take credit for this, but I can't. Someone said that Image Comics has created an instant pull list culture, where
Yeah.
like they have cultivated such great talent and pulled like all these amazing ideas, giving them a forum and to like a platform to like make it happen. That
Yeah.
whenever a new Image comic comes out, I'm always going to buy the first issue just to give it a chance. Like that is,
Yeah.
and that's something I think is really exciting. That I really hope the rest of the comic book industry starts to follow suit in, and I'm starting to see some ripples of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I feel like-
no. I will say this, and I don't even read enough of this stuff, but it's like Image Comics is the one medium where they're exploring original stories. The movies aren't able to do that anymore.
Oh.
TV
No.
shows aren't really able to do that
No.
anymore. This is like where you're like,
It's completely
"That's an
original,
idea.
weird stories,
Do it."
man. Yeah.
I mean, look at where movies and television are looking now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are in with Kelly Sue
Oh yeah,
DeConnick and Matt
there's
Fraction,
a
and they just
Powers
signed.
television show
Some
that's gonna
Powers
happen
television
or
show, we're gonna
happening.
get
If you
Sex
are
Criminals
some kind of
television
artist and you
show?
have an original idea, this is the only
Walking
medium that you
Dead.
can get across.
You know,
Walking
comes from
Dead is-
Image.
A lot of people talk shit about Walking Dead. Walking Dead is the best example of how great comic books are.
Yeah.
Because Robert Kirkman owns all of that.
Yeah, he didn't
It's
get
his
fucked.
creation.
Did you see the documentary Image Revolution? The Image Revolution?
No.
You should check that out. It's really good.
It's really
but it's
good.
about the first decade of Image. I would love to see the follow-up, which is about the next
Right.
Image revolution of
Yeah.
what Image is. Image is in a new revolution now.
Yeah,
Well,
actually.
absolutely.
I feel like pretty soon it's not gonna be the big 2. It's gonna be the big 3.
3.
It's gonna be the big 3.
And we're there now, and I'm
And I,
so
and
stoked
I don't
about
know why
that.
we're not already saying it. Like it's big 3.
Oh, so thank you for.
Well, you know
saying
what? You know what people say about the Marvel movies and comic book movies is that, oh, this should all burn out in the next year or two. There's too many comic book movies. And it's like, no, actually, in the movie, this is my opinion, in the movie universe, they have not explored all the plethora of material they have in the comics to explore. However, in the comics universe, well, you've gotten to the point of ridiculousness of craziness here.
Secret Wars.
There's plenty of stuff in the movies
Yeah.
to keep going on for another,
With the-
I think, 10 years at least.
Yeah.
With
the
but
Cloud
in
Atlas
comic
of-
books, it's time to move to this kind of stuff right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Wicked and Divine, I think is going to be a TV show. If I remember,
Yeah.
they came under the deal with
Well,
Kelly Sue DeConnick
They
and
can
the
call me to play
Matt
Lucy.
Fraction.
If you
Oh,
want.
Hopefully it
great.
works out well.
There's a trans character in it. But they
How
don't make
cool
a big
is that?
they
How
don't make
cool
a
is
big
they-
deal out of it. Though it's just cool. It's just in
It was
there.
just- and they
And
handled
it
it
feels
so
natural.
well.
It feels
It was
natural.
perfect.
I love it. It's easy.
Oh,
It's just genuine. It's not somebody who's trying. There's somebody who's actually doing what they really are interested in.
Yeah.
They're writing like what they really are
I mean,
into.
so many of our favorite writers
Are
are
you guys
switching
ready
over.
to move on to Phonogram?
Yeah.
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 Okay,
All
let's
right.
talk
Well, it's the
about it.
same guys. All right.
It's the same guys. We'll
And
just
their
kinda-
first Image book came out was Phonogram. They have a B-sides also.
There was the singles
second one,
collection.
or the singles collection. And so now this is their third situation.
The Immaterial Girl.
The Immaterial Girl. Do you want to give a quick synopsis of what Phonogram is about?
Phonogram is the antithesis of music is magic. I always compared the first Phonogram to being High Fidelity meets Hellblazer concert.
Yes, that's the
That's
best.
how I
yes.
always sold it. And the creators of Phonogram will always tell you that if you're going to start reading that, to start with the second run of the singles collection. Start there and then work your way back to the original Phonogram.
Yeah.
And then now we've got this new series, which we're all really excited about. This is the beginning of the third arc. It's a new character. And she gave up half her power, or gave up half her personality.
All the characters in this, they all use their type of music that they
got ahead of
love.
myself.
That's
Yeah.
okay. No, we all do it. I do it all the time. I'm gonna be your Tyson right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they use the music that they love, that they're super into, and they use that to like
Draw power.
do magical. There's different magical rituals, different things. I mean, it's just kind of like using it to power up your occult rituals.
Right. So, like, the main character was David Cole, who's kind of a monologue or an analog of the main writer.
Yeah. And he's into Britpop.
And he's into Britpop. And at the height of Britpop, he was his most powerful with his magic.
Yes.
And he really held on to Britpop as long as he can.
And then
And he slowly, Britpop moved in the past and new music came.
And there's
he
a
had to-
manifestation of Britpop as a goddess,
Right.
physical goddess.
Britannica?
Britannia?
Britannia. It's been a while since I've read that series.
Yes, yes. And so there's a whole thing with her. I mean, just to give you a taste of what's going on, you know, it's this is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's I love the DJs who play
Retromancers.
and the shitty like hits that they know people will dance to, but they're just like leeching off their like life energies like
Yeah.
to live longer or something. It's so funny.
Bring
They're
that
like fucked up
over here.
vampires. So
They actually
funny.
really talked about that in the singles collection. And there's this really great scene with two of the DJs, and they're one girl doesn't speak and the other guy speaks way too much.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, they're not getting the reaction they want out of the crowd, and they're like, "All right, you got to fucking break it out." And they both put goggles on, open up the special suitcase, and it's like a copy of like a Blondie single, and it's glowing.
Yeah.
And they finally put it on, and they're like, "We had to do it."
Yeah.
And they start drawing power from the crowd again.
Break in case of emergency.
Yeah.
But this one, and this is the first issue. It's not completely. You don't know exactly what's going on yet.
Not yet, because we
Okay.
introduced new characters.
Again, and this is another thing where it's like, you know, I'm just gonna go with it. I like these guys. I'll fucking give it a shot. You may not understand the first issue, but it's fine. Just
That's
keep
okay.
going.
Just stick with it.
But so in this incarnation, we have a girl character, and we believe that she draws her powers from music videos. She was born in the MTV '80s, like she was a
Video
kid.
killed the radio star.
And so, from what I'm gathering, she has sold half of her personality and put it in a TV world
right.
so that she has more power or something. We don't know yet.
First issue.
And yeah, you
Now
can
she's starting to draw
pick it
power,
up.
but we're kind of watching her go through the same thing that the David Cole character did.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, in this day and age, I think video is dead.
Yes.
I think MTV is fake as hell.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
MTV is really scripted. MTV has become
Well, MTV
wrestling.
is.
I haven't looked at MTV in
Yeah,
years.
I
I
mean,
don't
like,
know what's
I-
Well,
going
it's
on
definitely
there.
not for us. You know, it's not
like,
being
the
made for
VMAs
us.
happened
But
last night, and I saw Twitter explode with, like, beefing and rivalries.
I was like, I
and
don't
it's
care.
like,
I
who
don't care.
cares?
Get out of here. I know it is like
But-
wrestling though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've got heels and things are scripted.
Yeah,
and we
yeah. Fucking Nicki Minaj a fucking heel. That's
Come on,
funny.
yeah, Nicki
yeah.
Minaj totally turned heel.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I was going to start,
Is MTV
yeah.
even as big of a deal as it was when we were teenagers?
It's reality television.
I don't know.
now.
I don't know if they
Like,
probably
I don't
just
know if
buy-
kids even watch it anymore.
I don't know.
No.
I have no idea. I think they're just on the internet. I think nobody really cares when
Yeah.
they keep making it look like everybody
But
cares.
I mean,
don't
MTV
know.
doesn't even show.
Probably they
Yeah.
would.
But like MTV doesn't even show videos anymore. And I think in
Right.
this day and age, now we're watching the internet come in, and this main character, she's so holding on to the power that videos gave her.
Yeah.
Like music videos were like the wave of the future, and now she's really
Her
desperate.
power is waning. Yeah.
And now that we're in like the internet age where we've got Spotify and iTunes and
Yeah.
you know Pandora,
People don't even make videos most of the
they
time.
don't. I mean, especially it's a lot of like YouTube jumbled things, quick cut edited. Like there's no power in that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's now desperately watching.
Is that true? Because I watch most of my music now, and maybe this is just me,
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube. I'll like just play playlists that other people have made on YouTube.
Right.
That's how I get a lot of my music. Or it's Pandora. I go back and forth.
It's the
Exactly.
retro wave stuff too. Look
Yeah.
out for that stuff. That's
Yeah.
like the best YouTube stuff.
But there's a lot of music videos I see that people have made for that stuff.
But it's not as prominent anymore.
But yeah, it's not.
So
It's,
there's
it's
no-
not a thing though. You're like,
Yeah.
did you see the new Ludacris video?
I have no idea if
Do you
it's a
remember
thing
that? You know, where he was at the
anymore.
big head and shit. It's like that was a
actually
thing.
good.
Yeah, it was a thing.
But they don't. It's not. I don't think it's like that anymore.
feel
I
so-
mean, maybe Nicki
I
Minaj's
feel
Anaconda
so
video was a thing.
disconnected from that culture now, and that's like, I'm
Well-
glad.
Well,
I don't
that's
wanna
also
be, but
because you know we're again out of
Older.
we're aged out.
I mean,
we're
I-
aged out.
We're aged
Yeah.
out.
There's certain bands like OK Go. Not the biggest fan of OK Go. They always make great videos.
I'll watch their music videos.
Their videos
though.
are amazing.
Totally. But so yeah, this is I don't know. This looks it's really promising.
It's also the sassiest comic you're ever going to read.
Oh yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, it is super sassy. It is super sass. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I want to see where this goes. I love that. I love that I love that the writer Kieran Gillen is so inspired by pop culture. Because I too am inspired by pop culture. Mine isn't my poison isn't necessarily music. You know, my poison is. I mean, I have a lot of things that I'm into.
I know
obviously.
what your poison is.
What?
Delisted.
No, shut up. Don't tell them my trashy website.
Yeah,
it's not
you
my
do.
poison.
For
I mean,
as
that's.
long as I've known her,
I love
T-Bone,
it.
for as long as
it
I've
keeps
known
me
her.
in the know. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, celebrities, like gods, celebrities to me are like characters, you know, even though I'm like, oh, they're human beings. It's like, I do follow their character bullshit. That's funny to me because like they have all
Yeah.
these fake romances and it's fun to spot which one's fake and, you know, it's whodunit. It's really goofy.
That's your guilty
But,
secret.
well, I also learn a lot. I learn a lot from watching these people, and I'm like, wow, I don't ever want to do that, or don't go down that road, or that was a fucking mistake.
Well,
you know,
yeah, a lot of them
like-
do make moves that are clearly marked for like trying
Well,
to
it's
get
like
fame and success.
you see, like fame is just such a wild animal, and it's really interesting to watch how it affects these different people. Like Shia LaBeouf is like a fucking case study in fucking fame. You know, like
Yeah.
that guy's.
Wow,
and it's
yeah.
so bizarre. Like he goes from like, oh, he's like super weird and goofy and like fuck that guy to like, oh my god, this is the best shit. Just do it.
every
Like you
time,
love
like-
him again, and then he does
Yeah.
something crazy again that makes you fucking hate him, and then he does something else that's super nuts that makes you love him.
Every time he walks
He's
off
crazy.
a set, all the actors are like one of the best actors I've ever worked with.
It's like I know that he's trying really hard.
But
I don't
then-
know. Shia is such a mystery. He's such an enigma.
Well, you know,
No.
they're on a whole different level of an addiction than we
Yeah.
are.
Well, I mean, I
Well-
think Shia is looking for legitimacy at this point. He wants to be
Oh, yeah,
taken
totally.
seriously as an artist.
No, he feels
Especially
bad for
doing,
being
like,
a part of
performance
those fucking Transformers movies. He's like, fuck, I look like a fucking sellout asshole. Like, because everybody just knows me with those stupid Transformers movies, and I'm actually a real artist, and I want to do something. And he wants to prove himself,
Well,
but then.
if he wanted to be a real artist, he made the worst move possible.
Well, I mean, I know,
He's
it's
moving away from
it's
that.
a whole thing.
I'm gonna give
you
him
know?
the benefit
It's
of
a
the
whole
doubt.
thing.
Like,
I don't know him
I do too.
personally.
I'll
Yeah.
forgive anyone for, well, I feel bad for him at least. Let's just say that. I feel
Yeah.
bad for him for that whole thing.
Well, he's also a
But-
child star, though. I mean, he
Yeah.
has been in Hollywood his whole life since he was a little kid. So of course he's fucking weird. Like he was working as you would work 40 hours a week as a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids don't have normal childhoods. They don't even have childhoods. Like
And they miss basic information.
And
like,
who
don't
knows?
rip
I
off
mean-
a comic book.
I mean, he could have been fucking touched. I don't know. Like all those little kids like work at Disney. Like be careful,
Right,
man.
well,
Like,
let's
none
not
of them
go there.
have
It's almost
fucking
like we're
good
watching
stories.
go through like a second adolescence.
Yeah.
I think he's just trying to like figure out who he is. He still hasn't quite.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Gotten there
Here's
yet.
the thing. Oh, here's the thing that we've learned. You can't miss steps in your personal evolution, or they will come back to haunt you, bite you in the ass at some point.
Oof.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that, if you're a child star, well, then you've definitely missed a lot of steps in your personal evolution.
Yeah, yeah, you can. It's really easy, and especially in this culture of like, you know, everyone's filming you on their phone, and everyone's got Twitter, and everyone's got pictures and everything. It's like, man, like you can get busted for doing anything. You get busted for doing anything. Like you're just having a bad night. You know, what if you're just having a bad night? You get drunk and you're just talking shit because you're just whatever. You're in a bad mood. Someone's like takes pictures and this guy's in a bad mood. He's fucking drunk. Fuck him.
But we
you know
all
how
had
drunk
that night,
he is, and
but
you're just
like,
like,
we don't have the fame where it
but
can get
yeah,
turned back on us.
yeah.
You know.
It's like
Then
that
again,
shit sucks.
Then again, if I were a celebrity, I would never go to the beach when I'm looking bad. God, what are you thinking?
You get a private beach
catch 'em-
somewhere.
You catch them all. They catch them all, like at the beach all the time.
That's funny.
That's funny.
Celebrity is weird. It's really weird. It's really
That's
weird.
well, you know what? I think Wicked Divine's a really good case study in that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Definitely. But yeah, Phonogram 2, pick it up. I love these guys.
Everything
you know.
they did Young
Well,
Avengers.
The Young Avengers was so rad. If you're into them and you want to do some superhero stuff or whatever, or some more indie type superhero stuff,
Their Young
run,
Avengers run.
Oh, it's so good. I wish there was more of it,
We all did.
but whatever.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
that about wraps it up.
that's it. That's it, guys.
good.
That's it,
let's,
folks.
Let's go to our calls to action. I think we did some good jobs on these comics today.
Yeah. Well,
I'm interested.
Well, don't forget, Epic History X-Men Volume 2, The Phoenix Saga, is on Vimeo on demand for the price of a comic book. It's, like, super rad. You're going to do VOD. You know, let's just hop on board. Let's stop being pussies about it and just get a VOD. It'll change your life, you know. I changed my life. I've been watching movies
know.
on Amazon, fuck Voodoo, whatever, man. I need
I
to
know.
rent something.
Because it's important to point out these are the early days of people buying individual pieces of content online.
Yes.
This is true.
And I don't have cable personally because like that shit sucks. So like instead when I wanted to watch the last season of Mad Men and it was coming on, I would just purchase them for like $1 or $2 on
Yeah.
Amazon
We buy each episode individually.
because it's worth it because I want to support them because I love their show and because it's like that's not that much money and I'm not paying for cable. So in lieu of paying for cable,
You can
I'll
roll
pay a
your
little
eyes,
extra
but
for that.
that's how I do Doctor Who.
you know,
Like,
it's
I
like
don't
Oh, yeah?
pay for cable, but
it's like I want to pirate shit
yeah,
that's
I
like
buy-
actively going that I'm
Well, way to
hurting
go.
by pirating. You
I
know,
buy
go.
the episodes because that's what I want to watch.
yeah.
We since we've started doing this, we've become filmmakers making individual pieces of content on this new medium called the internet, where you try to sell it to them on the media.
and you try to cut out the middleman.
and they don't go to the theater.
Right.
But it's very difficult these days.
They're not ready yet.
They're not ready at all. People are used to paying for. I think there's this perception problem. We're talking about perception problems
There
in
you
Week
go.
in the Divine.
Yeah.
I think there's this perception problem with buying individual pieces of content that people think, oh, I've bought cable. And they come and give me a box, and I'm paying for that box. But all the programming on there is
It's
for free.
free.
They think it's all free.
Yeah, because they don't
Or
have
I
to
buy
buy
Netflix, and I'm paying for just the subscription to the service, but the content on there is free.
Yeah, it's all the movies are
no,
free.
none of it's free. Nothing is free in the world.
Yeah.
Everything costs money to create.
Yeah.
And if you want that stuff to exist, you have to pay for it. We're
Well-
hoping to be able to make Volume 3 coming up.
Well, we want to, we're trying to help forge a new paradigm that's going on where the artists can cut out the middleman on the internet, so we don't have to go to a studio and they can't tell us what to do. If people just go out and buy it and support it that way, then I don't have to go find funding from somebody else who's going to tell me what the fuck I can and cannot do.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
that simple. So
That's-
if we can get you guys on board with this, I think
Preach.
that we could get some really weird, original, awesome, pure content to you guys that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Church.
I mean,
That's
there's
true. We have to
nowhere
figure out a
else.
way to train the audience and teach them
Well, we
about what's
are.
really
They're,
going on.
Tabernacle.
Steadily.
And Volume 1, Epic History X-Men Volume 1 is for free in its entirety on YouTube. Volume 2,
And we
the
didn't
first
have to make that
15
free,
minutes.
by the way.
Yeah, we didn't, but we did. Because we want you guys to see what this is, And so Volume 2, the first 15 minutes are free. Go watch it, and if you're into it, you can try it out. Let me take your VOD cherry.
Be a pioneer.
Use your VOD card.
Okay.
How'd you lose your video on demand? Oh, Comic Book Girl 19.
Yeah, see, that's
Oh,
hot.
man,
That's
you
sexy.
too?
A lot
That's
of people
sexy.
said that.
Wow.
You
That
know what?
sounds
A lot
better.
of people said that.
You guys could be
Yeah.
internet Eskimo brothers now
Yeah.
and sisters.
So Kirk, you want to sign out today? I want to thank Kirk for being here, Captain.
Guys, thank you for this. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
so great.
It's very therapeutic.
We'll get back into comics. I'll learn you some stuff.
Yeah, I'm easing my way back in. I'm starting to have some free time
Well, I mean,
again.
what
until we start doing Volume
only-
3, and
what,
then it's like,
only-
ah.
yeah, only 2 weeks ago we actually were able to go out and have a drink and hang out.
Yes, yes.
And then we did a mini golf thing.
Yeah.
But I literally couldn't even hang out with you guys unless it was like, wait, if you
Dude,
just
for
want to
like,
come over and
for
watch
like
us work.
the whole year.
Yeah.
For like
Don't
the
worry.
whole year.
Like unless you just want to eat our food and hang out in the
Nobody's
kitchen.
been hanging out with us. We haven't even been hanging
No,
out
it's
with
like we
us.
have a baby. It's like I feel like
Absolutely.
like part of me I feel bad sometimes, but then again I'm like, no, fuck it. I have a baby. They should understand. Like I gotta teach this baby to walk. Like I can't. Like give me 3 or 4 years, and then I'll come hang out.
Yeah.
Like we're almost there.
It's a baby
There's
that's
so
gonna
much work
shit
to
through
do
a
in
lot.
making
we
a
have
documentary.
we have a 3-year-old baby.
Yeah.
It's our show.
All right.
Anyways,
So also, other note is appearances. We might be making some appearances at comic conventions, and we will let you know soon on Facebook.
yeah, or Twitter. Follow us
Twitter.
on Twitter. Like this video. Subscribe to my channel.
Also, speaking of Facebook, I just want to throw this out there real quick. If you go to the Facebook page and you click the drop-down thing and you say follow this first page, you'll actually get to maybe see our Facebook updates.
Yeah, because if you don't click that, they won't.
Yeah.
They cockblock all of our stuff.
Did you know
Yeah.
that's actually
So-
important, even if you just have a regular Facebook now?
Yeah.
Like my friends, I have to go to
Yeah,
my
yeah,
close
you
friends,
have to
I
say,
have to
I
go
wanna
to their
see-
page.
yeah, I wanna
I'm
see
like,
their
no, I
shit.
want to see this dude's stuff all the time.
Yeah. So,
Right.
and I know you guys are subscribing to it because we just got 70,000 people following us on Facebook. So I know you guys are into it. I know people are clicking.
Yeah, the average thing we post gets less than 5,000.
I know it gets like 2,000
You gotta
views.
those algorithms, you know.
They got me.
Right.
They got me. So, anyways, yeah. So do
Subscribe,
that.
like, follow.
Subscribe, like, follow, Twitter, Instagram,
Kirk like stuff. Twitter
Kirk like stuff. Yep.
At Kirk like stuff.
at Kirk like stuff.
Or is it hashtag Kirk like
No,
stuff?
it's at.
It's
Okay.
at.
He doesn't know the
I know,
Twitter
I know
stuff.
the-
T-Bone's not in the Twitterverse.
Might as well just at me.
Oh,
wait,
and
I
I'm.
have an Instagram.
Oh, you want to pimp your Instagram?
Yeah, except I don't know what it is.
You're so stupid.
It's Tyson.Wheeler, but I don't know what is.
It's at Tyson.
Instagram, so there would be
no,
what?
it'll be Instagram, and they go at Tyson.Wheeler.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I got an Instagram then.
Yeah,
Since
you
the
can
meantime.
tell who runs the social media in this
Sometimes.
family. Like,
Well, I'm the one that edits and directs
yeah,
all the
no,
stuff.
you do the heavy lifting.
You guys wouldn't be here
I get to
without
do
me.
the stupid, annoying stuff.
Um,
Although I like Twitter, I'm down with Twitter and Instagram.
I'm
Anyway,
addicted to Twitter.
I just got the Instagram. I'm enjoying it, and sometimes I leak things that nobody sees.
Oh yeah, he
anything
does. He
else.
does leak things. So if you want to
Yeah.
get like weird little behind the scenes pics of weird
Sometimes
stuff that
I
we're working
test
on.
out material that we're about to put on Facebook or your Instagram
Yeah.
and see how it feels.
Well, it's like I haven't been on Twitter or Instagram in like a week or more because I fucked up
You
my
smushed your phone.
Yeah, but I just got my old phone working again.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
because I wanted to, but because I had to.
You major
so.
smushed your phone.
Major smushed it.
Do you want to
And-
tell
I saw
everyone
it.
what
Oh
you
my
did to your
God.
phone? Do you want to tell everyone what you did to the last 3 phones that you smushed?
It's 2 phones.
No, it's 3 because you smushed one of mine.
Oh, shut up about that fucking phone.
You
God
smushed-
damn it, that was like 5 years ago. You would
And I'll
never let
never
it
forget
go.
my sidekick. I loved that sidekick. I would still have it today if you hadn't smushed it.
I know. You'd still fucking be using that piece of shit today.
She smushed it in the tailgate of my truck. She was like pushing the tailgate
Okay.
up, and like it
It
slid
just slid down into the crack.
then-
like forced it shut
Well,
on
don't
it.
leave your fucking phone on the fucking tailgate then. How about that?
Oh,
Put it in
no,
your
never to
pocket.
leave it
Tyson,
anywhere
you know
near
that
Put it
was,
in your pocket.
that was the last sidekick too.
Yeah,
Yeah, like, that
it,
was
it
it.
was the last good one.
That was the last
But
one.
he got
the last
another one
good
and it
one.
sucked, so he
Yeah.
never got another one again. And then another one fell out of my pocket on Valentine's Day when I was running across the road to get to the Getty Villa. And that sucked.
Gone.
On PCH. It fell on PCH. PCH took it.
Yeah, you were like, oh, we got to get across the road.
Well, the fucking
Smash.
light, it takes forever because it's PCH. And it's like, oh, you gotta fucking run,
And
you
then
know?
the
'cause
last
it's a fucking
smush
thing.
was
And then the last smush was doing all these projects this year. My brain isn't on top like it used to be. It's not what it used to be. And
just tell me what happened.
I was at the gas station and I was so happy. You know, we just got a bagel sandwich and like cat food and stuff. I was like, yeah, we're having a good day. Get some gas. And then I left my phone on top of my car and then I drove off. And then it fell into the street, and then someone ran over it, and then it was completely smushed. And
Somebody drove their
But
car
we're,
over.
but
Drove
we're
their
gonna blame
car-
the
multiple
person
people,
driving the
I'm
car
sure.
for like that being the reason why
you
that
know,
thing died.
it's my fault.
Yeah.
But, you know, honestly, it was a blessing in disguise because I have fucking loved not having a phone. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of sad to get one again because I've got so much shit done. I'm not distracted. I'm not, like, looking at fucking stupid stuff. I mean, Twitter, most of the time, it's okay, but you still get a fucking idiot on there, like, every day, at least once a day, that you're just like,
That
ugh,
bums you out and
You're
sucks
just
your
like,
energy.
Yeah.
fuck off.
What's that rap
Idiot,
song where the guy's
you
like,
know?
taking all my energies?
Oh, yeah, I got
Yeah.
a lot of enemies. Yeah. So it's
Stealing
like,
all
I
my
don't-
energies.
Yeah, stealing all my energies. It's like that shit,
Yeah.
like, and it's so stupid, like, you don't want it to bother you, but, like, it's still, it's just like, that's so dumb. Like, it hurts your brain how dumb
So
it
you
is.
feel better
know?
now not having a phone for the last week.
Yes. I
Well,
feel great when
maybe-
I'm not being connected. And I also like that people can't just call me or text me whenever they want. I can,
Yeah.
I choose when to
it
interact
was
with
weird getting your text vernacular from Tyson's number.
people. Oh, yeah. I was like, hey, what's up?
Yo, bro, we got sushi, and I'm like, Tyson does not speak like that.
Yeah.
That's true.
It was really
Yeah, you know
weird.
it's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But,
true. So maybe Alan Moore has something. to
No,
the
he's
whole-
onto something, dude. He doesn't
not
do that shit. He
having-
doesn't have a phone. And you know what? His emails, he has his assistant. This is what I heard. He has his assistant print them out and then, like, put them in his fucking mailbox thing, you know, at his house. And, like,
That's
that's
not
how
a
he gets his
bad idea.
emails. And it's, like, just like letters. He just gets
Yeah.
letters, and that's how he deals with stuff. And it's like, you know, he's on to something. Like, it does keep your energy more pure because you're not connected. And when you're not connected, you can't have other people fucking feeding off
Siphoning
your
your
energy.
energy off.
You gotta
Yeah.
leave a
Yeah.
gap in your life.
Yeah, and I've been working on this art project, and
Don't
I've
fill
got
it all
so much done on it since I haven't had a phone. I've been very productive
Yeah,
with
you
my
have.
weird
Oh man,
side
you've been
art
drawing
project.
like crazy.
I know.
Well, anyway, okay, so that was
Well,
pretty good.
anyways.
The after party. All right, that's the after party.
Thanks for
That's
listening,
it.
everybody.
Thanks for listening, everybody, to the Plopcast.
The podcast is back.
It's back, guys.
back.
It's back, guys.
And we will try to keep this weekly,
Later.
weekly-ish if we can, and we will be back next week with an all-new
Maybe.
one on movies.
Over now.
Over now.